Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, with a departure from the normal schedule for this week. So, as I'm sure most of you normal viewers are aware, normally we start the week with a top 5 video. Well, this news is so, insane that we're just gonna go ahead and start out the week with this DevBlog video. Before we go any further, though, if you haven't, make sure that your notifications are still on for this channel. Apparently, YouTube's doing a thing where it's going through unsubscribing people or unchecking their notification bell. Just make sure that's still on. Again, YouTube likes to do dumb things. But anyway, the title of this video is correct. We are getting an 18-inch armed Italian battleship with SAP. And boy, oh boy, it ain't like the other pasta boats, boys. This one gonna get nerfed or it gonna be broke. It gonna be real broke if it stays in its current state. So let's go ahead and take a look at this dev blog. So link this is in the description down below if you want to read along as I read aloud. I will throw up relevant images as we go through it. We did get the announcement of the new Italian battleship and the new Spanish cruiser. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Again, link to this is in the description box down below. Alright. It says, new ships, closed testing, 12.5. Spanish cruiser, Numancia, and Italian battleship, Ruggiero di Lauria, have been added to the game for testing. So it starts out with the Numancia, which I'm sure I'm probably saying wrong. Alright, so here she is, and let's see what they have to say about her. One of the Washington cruiser designs proposed to the Spanish Navy by Vickers Armstrong was based on the hull of the Emerald-class ships, but with 7 203mm guns and 1 triple and 2 twin-gun turrets. In order to keep the power plant compact, a linear arrangement of the boiler rooms and engine rooms were adopted. The ship was supposed to be faster than the original, and the installation of an anti-aircraft catapult was also implied. However, preference was given to the version of the project that became the basis for the Canaries class. Numancia is armed with 7 203mm main guns and the triple gun turret located in the bow and 2 aft twin guns. These guns have a good turning rate for their caliber, but not the highest damage per salvo and a low firing rate. The main feature of the ship is the availability of an alternative firing mode. Activating burst fire mode increases the damage of the AP shells, but decreases gun accuracy. That's a new one. Numancia is also armed with 4 triple tube torpedo tubes with fast reload. The torpedoes, however, are slow and deal low damage. That's okay, new too. The ship can boast good concealment as well as decent speed and maneuverability. At the same time, she has a low HP pool and weak AA weapons. The equipment is represented by a choice between Hydro and DFAA as well as Fighter in a separate slot. So you can have Hydro or DFAA in one slot and then Fighter in another slot. So, interesting combination of gimmicks here. So, the alternative firing mode, you get improved AP performance, but it's less accurate. To my knowledge and from my memory, the previous ships that have this burst firing mode, they typically improve the AP performance and you get better accuracy, and I believe that happens with most of the HE burst fires as well. So that's an interesting trade-off, and one that I think makes sense, because obviously if you're just blasting away, your accuracy is going to be less. Again, looking at this in the chances perhaps being some type of auto-loading mechanic on the ship, even though I'm pretty sure the ship probably wasn't fitted with an auto-loader, it makes sense from, like a logic standpoint that would happen rather than the guns magically becoming more accurate when you're shoving, 3 rounds through the barrels in like a second or two. Torpedoes slow and less damage than average. That's also weird too, because normally you trade speed for damage. The faster torpedoes like the Pan-Euro DDs like the Holland, they have very fast torpedoes but they do very little damage. Then you go to like the German DDs or like the German battleships where they have the same torpedoes. Dead slow torpedoes, but they pack one hell of a punch. Not like Shimakaze levels, but pretty high damage overall. Or again, like the British battle cruisers, very slow torps, but lots of damage. So interesting choice there. Now I do wonder if the hull is like straight up an emerald at tier 8. If that's the case, the ship gonna die a lot. Check out the parameters here real quick. So the plating's 25 millimeters, so okay, yes, it's not like the emerald, so okay, it's got tier appropriate plating. Actually pretty decent plating for tier 5, 30-second fires, 13% torpedo damage. The guns have a range of 14.4 kilometers, pretty short, but I think you can kind of get them out a little bit at that tier, maybe. I don't know the cruiser skills off the top of my head, so I actually don't think you can. Maximum HE shell damage, if I am wrong, please correct me in the comments down below. HE shells do 2,850 maximum damage, 34 millimeters a pin, that's good. 70% fire chance. And what's the reload time? 11 seconds on 7 guns, 7203s, that's not terrible, but not great. But again, you do have the burst fire. So the burst fire to reload time, 1 second between shots, 3-round burst. 25% AP damage and a 25% increase to your dispersion. Ooh, so that's... yeah, no, I think that's a fair trade-off. If you're getting that much more damage, a quarter more damage out of your shells, then yeah. So the AP shells do 4,500 maximum damage. So you're getting another 1,000 damage per shell. So, I see some potential here, actually, in maybe like a close-range brawling cruiser. Again, we'll have to see exactly what the armor looks like. But, I mean, you know, if you're within like 10 kilometers of somebody, that's pretty close by tier 8 standards. And, you know, vibe checking them with, what, 7 times 3, I'm not a math teacher, 21 shells in 3 seconds? Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Alright, so I'm intrigued by the Numancia here. I'm intrigued, but now onto the main course and the... oh boy. Oh boy, okay. Yeah, so the Ruggiero... man, I forget how you make the double G sound in Italian. Ruggiero di Lauria. Alright, in 1921, man, all the cracked out designs happened in the 20s. Well, what a wonderful decade for naval designs. In 1921, engineer Ferdinando Casoni presented the idea of a battle cruiser with 450. Oh my gosh, this thing fast too. Okay, let me get through the description. My ADHD's taking over. Presented the idea of a battle cruiser with 8 457mm guns and a speed of 35 to 40 knots. This ship was the largest ever designed for the Italian Navy. To reduce overall length, it was proposed to place the boilers above the engines in a 2-level power plant. The anti-torpedo protection was also unique. Detonations would be directed into an expansion chamber overboard from where the gases were diverted through special channels. That's interesting. The ship has high speed, good armor, and low detectability range. Among the disadvantages, a high-positioned citadel, low HP pool, and low maneuverability. Her equipment is represented by the improved repair party, which restores 33% of the damage received to the citadel, as well as a choice between fighter and spotting aircraft. I see no problems with this. What the heck? It's a more cracked out Georgia. It's an Italian Georgia with SAP 40 knot top speed. Okay, it's designed 35 to 40 knots. So let's see what this thing actually has. First off, as always, Italians make some beautiful ships. Like, I love the way this thing looks. Just from this one screenshot, from this one angle, thing looks magnificent. Alright, so 79,200 HP, that is very low for a tier 10. 32mm plating. This is the battle cruiser 32mm plating. Okay. 39% torpedo protection, pretty good. 4x2 457s with a range of 19.2 kilometers base. Of course, you can get that out. Maximum AP shell damage 14,900. AP initial velocity 762 meters a second. Maximum SAP shell damage 16,600. And the SAP can penetrate 114 millimeters of armor. The SAP shells travel at 757 meters a second. 30-second reload time. What? It's got a 30-second reload? Oh no! This thing's going to be worse than I thought. By worse, I mean more broken than I thought. Because you can slap reload on there. Because 19 kilometers with a 40-knot ship with... They said it had good concealment, didn't they? They describe it as a good concealment. Yeah, low detectability range. What is its detection range while we are looking down here? 15.2, so with the modules, yeah, 12, 13-ish? Good God. Okay, so yeah, you can stop reload on there, because 19.2 kilometers and enough range, anything's possible. At that point, I'm sorry, 19.2 kilometers low enough concealment, you can definitely make that work. The ice cream truck is going by. That's appropriate for this treat that we're getting here. Man, that guy's got some loud jams. So you can get that reload down to like 27, 26 seconds with SAP, with 18-inch SAP. Okay, so what's its accuracy like? Okay, so the Sigma is 1.8 and max dispersion 210 meters. Oh man. So it's like battle cruiser dispersion once you throw. Oh my God. All right, so the dispersion's pretty good. 1.8 on 8 guns, not so good. But so the way that works, if you don't know, the layman and very justy way of saying this, Sigma is the number that determines how your shells are going to come out of the guns, like what pattern they're going to be in. The higher Sigma, the higher chance you have of having a good pattern out of the barrels. The dispersion is then the distance that the shells will travel apart from one another by the time they get to that targeted range. So like base 210 meters. So at 19.2 kilometers, the maximum distance that the shells are going to deviate from one another is 210 meters. And then Sigma, again, 1.8, that determines the pattern that they leave the barrels in. So 1.8 isn't generally considered to be that great at higher tier, but if you have like a lot of guns, like if you have 9, it'll work. But 8, that's a low number of guns by higher tier standards. However, you do have a decent reload. Again, 26, 27 seconds with the module. So, yeah, we have pretty darn accurate, at least on paper, guns with SAP shells. Now keep in mind, SAP shells pin pretty much anything that's slightly armored, even heavily armored things. It's HE that doesn't have a fire chance, basically. So you have this thing that has 18-inch SAP shells, 16,600 maximum SAP damage, with actually good reload time on their guns. Pretty darn good excellent dispersion by the Italian standards, because the way they have to balance Italian battleships with SAP, because large caliber SAP is so heavy hitting that they either have to give it crap dispersion or a really crappy reload time. And both replays in the background, you should have seen a Colombo one and probably moved on to the Marco Polo one by now, where the Colombo they stopped at 15-inch with the SAP because the alpha was so crazy. So they gave her a lot of guns with a longer reload time to kind of make up for the crappy dispersion, and also still compensate for the fact that SAP has amazing alpha. The Marco Polo one, she has 16-inch SAP guns, which when like 3 or more of Marco Polo shells actually hit, it's amazing the amount of damage you're doing. But the dispersion is terrible. The reload time is 36 seconds, which is beyond terrible. So yeah, now they're giving this thing with 18-inch guns, good reload time, and good accuracy. Now, you're paying for that with apparently a terrible maneuverability. You have a 17-second rudder shift time, that's GK territory, a 1,000-meter turning circle radius, which is, again, also GK territory. So, yeah, but you get an improved repair party. So, yeah, this thing's getting nerfed. If this thing doesn't get nerfed, this is going to be probably one of the most busted ships in the game. Definitely when it comes out. Now, it is a resource ship, it's looking like, so I'd say Research Bureau. This screams Research Bureau. They're going to want people to either regrind lines or throw money at the game to get access to these 18-inch SAP-equipped guns. So that's what's going to happen with this thing. I'd put money on that. If this is a coal ship, I'd be happy, but I'd be surprised if this becomes a coal ship. And what's its top speed? What is its top speed? We never got to that. So, 35 knots. Okay, throw the speed flag on there. 38 knots. God, it's an Italian Georgia with SAP. But no engine boost is required to reach that. Alright, so this thing's gonna be crazy. I cannot wait to hear more about this ship. Given normal timetables from announcement to release, I would expect this like September, October-ish, maybe November. I have a feeling though this is going to get stuck in dev hell for a very long time, because balancing this is going to be a nightmare unless they just say screw it and just shove the pizza at us, guys. So let me know what you guys think about these ships in the comments down below. I think they've got into some of the good over there at Wargaming HQ. But guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Monday, and tomorrow you will see our weekly top 5 video. I just had to push it back because, again, this thing is absolutely nuts. But y'all have a great week. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're needed 50,000 subscribers. Thanks to you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.